Namo Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Lotase Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Hare Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jayapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Sapta Kanchana Gaurani Vaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamame Haripe Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Priya Dvaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauravan Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna. What happened with the sound? So was it audible before also?
Yeah.
So why did my speaker got enabled suddenly? All right. अब ये चलने वाला नहीं है, हुआ नहीं है ये, बैठ जाओ अभी तुम, हो गया तुम्हारा, क्यों करा ये सब? No, why did you disconnect with this guy? ठीक है, fine. हरे कृष्णा. अगर आप कैमरा ठीक करेंगे प्रभु, I can start the class then. Because I have to see myself, it's all easy. Hare Krishna, thank you everyone for joining in. Unfortunately, I don't have my book. My book is missing. But somehow somebody has got my copy of TLC. Kindly check the name if in case it has my name on the front page. Okay. This is another version of mine. I haven't. So we are reading from chapter number 15, explanation of the Atmaram verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. And to do that, in our previous discussion, we were referring from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter number 24, and we had discussed until verse number 77. Where was it? All right. So we'll continue. So just to give a quick recap, what has happened so far? As we discussed last time, here Sanatana Goswami requested Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, my dear Lord, I heard that how beautifully you gave numerous meanings of the Atmaram verse to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. If you be kind to me, I would also like to hear those narrations or different meanings of Atmaram verse. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with all humility said, oh, no, I don't know what that blabbered. He is a madman, I'm a madman, two madmen spoke, something we spoke, we don't know what we spoke. But because you're requesting in your association, I may be able to speak something. That was a kind of a foreground, not foreground, the background of the story. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began describing why am I going through this Chaitanya Charitamrita over here? Because we just want to see the beauty of our, texts or our verses or scriptures in that sense. Each verse has so many meanings, potential meanings could be there, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu presented to this Atmaram verse, and how it can have numerous meanings. Despite having numerous meaning, the principle is not changed. A little bit details are changed of that. Now, how it can have, because each word, according to Sanskrit dictionary, can have multiple meanings. Just like the word Atma. How many meanings Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted from a dictionary? Seven meanings. Atma means body, Atma means mind, Atma means soul, Atma means endeavor. Atma means super soul, whatnot, like this. And now when you start framing, because of different meanings, then you will have little different translation. So in our previous presentation or reading, we read up to verse literally up to 77, wherein until that point of time, the different meanings of each of the element or all of the words of the 13 words, I believe, 12 to 13 words in Atmanava's verse that were described by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now he'll begin to give meanings to that. Okay, that's our little background. Let's begin with it. Verse number 77. आत्म शब्द कह कृष्णा बृहत्व स्वरूपा सर्वव्यापक सर्वसाक्षी परमा स्वरूपा. The word Atma indicates the highest truth, Krishna. He is the all-pervasive witness of all, and he is the supreme form. Text number 78. Hari, the personality of Godhead, is the all-pervasive, original source of everything. He is therefore the super soul of everything. Say Krishna prapti hetu trividha sadhana jnana yoga bhakti tinira prataka lakshana. I acknowledge there is no TV going on here. So in that case, we are on 24th chapter, verse number 79. So you see it from this your online version. There are three ways to attain the lotus feet of the absolute Krishna. There is a process of philosophical speculation, perfection of or practice of mystic yoga, and the execution of devotional service. Each of this has its different characteristics. Tina sadhne bhagavan, tina sarupa bhase, Brahma Paramatma Bhagavata Trividha Prakashe. And all these three different processes gives you the different levels of realization, as we know from Srimad Bhagavatam, Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan realization. And that is a verse that is quoted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in 81. Vadanti tat tattva vidas tattvam yajnanam advayam brahmeti brahmatmeti bhavaneti shabdyate. Brahma atma shabdayati krishnera kahaya Rudhi Vritya Nirvishesha Antaryami Kaya. Although the words Brahma and Atma indicate Krishna, their direct meaning refers only to the impersonal Brahman and Super Soul, respectively. So while giving the definition of the word Atma, one of the meanings Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quoted was Supreme Lord or Super Soul. So that's what he's explaining here. ज्ञानमार्गे निर्विशेष ब्रह्म प्रकाशे योग मार्गे अंतर्यामी स्वरूपे भाषे. So Jnana gives you Brahman realization. Yoga Marg gives you Antaryami, which means Paramatma realization. Next. Raga Bhakti Vidhi Bhakti Hai Duhi Rupa Swayam Bhagavatve Bhagavate Prakasha Duhi Rupa. Only through Bhakti. Either Raga Bhakti or Vidhi Bhakti, Haya Dui Rupa. Let's read the translation. There are two kinds of devotional activity, Dui Rupa, so Raga and Vidhi or Vaidhi. By spontaneous devotional service, one attains the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And by Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, one attains the expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Very interesting. What does it mean? Srila Prabhupada Goswami explains this in Nectar of Devotion in the later on chapters. Swayam Bhagavate Prakash Dvirupa. So there are two kinds of bhakti, Vaidhi and Raga. And then you have two kinds of manifestations, Swayam Bhagavate and Bhagavatre Prakash. Swayam means Lord Shri Krishna and Bhagavatre Prakash means the expansion, which means it is only through Raga Nuga Bhakti we can attain Goloka access. Through Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti we can attain Vaikuntha. That is the meaning of it. All right, this is what is explained by Srila Prabhupada Goswami in Nectar Devotion. Raga Bhakti Vraje Swayam Bhagavane Paya. So, Vraje Swayam Bhagavan Paya. That's what we said right now. So, what do you get through Raga Bhakti? Goloka Vrindavan. This concept shlok hai. Srimad Bhagavatam. Nayam Sukhapo Bhagavan Dehinam Gopika Sutaha Jnaninam Chatma Bhutana Yata Bhakti Matamiha. The Supreme Personality God, Krishna, son of Mother Yashoda, is accessible to those devotees engaged in spontaneous loving service, but he is not as easily accessible to mental speculators, to those striving for self realization by severe austerities and penance, or those who consider the body the same as the self. So, to whom is he accessible? Yata Bhakti Matam, those who render devotional service. That's the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, not the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita, every chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Vidhi bhakte pashad dehe vaikunthete yaya. So this is what we were talking just now. By executing regular devotional, one becomes an associate of Narayana. So through Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, one can reach up to, not reaching. Just to make a difference, huh? One can reach up to Vaikuntha. Not that every Vaidhi sadhana bhakta is reaching Vaikuntha. Okay, there's a difference, huh? यही मत बोलना प्रभु जी, तो अपना ठीक है, कहीं तो जा रहे हैं, बहुत दुनिया से बाहर जा रहे हैं, उतना होना चाहिए. What does it mean? This is reach up to. That's what we can maximum reach. All right, this is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Let's take a look. Those who discuss activities of Lord Krishna are on the highest platform of devotional life, and they show the symptom of tears in the eyes and bodily jubilation. Such persons discharge devotional service to Krishna without practicing the rules and regulations of the mystic yoga system. They possess all spiritual qualities and they are elevated to the Vaikuntha planets which exist above us, like this. All right. This is Brahmaji speaking to Devatas in the context of Asuras, when Devatas are frightened because of the two Asuras taking birth in the womb of Diti. Lord Brahma described the Kumara's visit to Vaikuntha, and this was again explained by Maitreya, like this. Next, text number 89. Say upasaka haya trividha prakar akama moksha kama sarva kama. So there are three kinds of devotees. Say upasaka hai trividha. तीन प्रकार के उपासक हैं. Straightforward. Akama, मोक्ष कामा, सर्व कामा. सर्व कामा भौतिक इच्छाएं, आर्थोर्थाति, जिज्ञासु, ज्ञानिचा भरत सभा, the pious was. मोक्ष कामा, who is aspiring for moksha, and akama, this refers to pure devotee. Next number, text number 90, famous shloka from second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Akama sarva kamava moksha kama dharidi tivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusham param. So we know of that. बुद्धिमान अर्थ यदि विचारज्ञाया निज कामा लगिया तवे कृष्णेरा भजया. The meaning of the word udaradhi. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining akam sarva kama moksha kama udaradhi. He's explaining what is udaradhi. Udaradhi means broad-minded. And that's how Prabhupada explains the meaning of this word udhar, broad-minded. Here it says the meaning of the word Udar is buddhiman, intelligent or considerate. Because of this, even for one's own sense gratification, one engages in the devotional service of Lord Krishna. So why it is said Udharadhi, intelligent, broad-minded, considerate, which means one is able to think and understand what will be one's highest good. He doesn't have to go to any other devta, he goes only to Krishna, even for his sense gratification. That is allowed. Bhakti vinu kona sadhana diti narifala sabapala deya bhakti swatantra pravala. What without bhakti, what sadhana will give you? But with bhakti, sabapala deya bhakti swatantra pravala. But bhakti can give you every result that you desire or aspire for. Why? Bhakti is all independent. Swatantra prabala, and all powerful. Text number 93. Ajagalastana nyaya anya sadhana ata eva hari bhaja buddhimana jana. With the exception of devotional service, all the methods of self-realization are like the nipples on the neck of wood. Therefore, an intelligent person adopts only devotional service, giving up all other processes of self-realization. This is a pretty interesting example which is often given. And then you might wonder, if in case you have ever come across this, अजगला स्तन न्याय, इसको न्याय कहा गया है, कई बार रिपीट होता है. why there is this particular attraction towards the nipples on the neck of goat? You got my question? So this is called as Aja Gala Sthana Nyaya, which means Nyaya means logic. There's Nyaya Shastra, there is a logic. And that one example is given that, the nipples on the neck of the goat. What does it mean? What does this logic means? How many of you have seen nipples on the neck of the goat? Raise your hand. अबे सपने में देखे हैं जब होते नहीं तो कहां से देखेगा हाथ क्यों खड़ा कर दिया अबे निप्पल्स निप्पल्स नहीं देखे निप्पल्स और निप्पल्स स्किन लटकी रहती है वो निप्पल्स कहते हैं क्या उसको अच्छा तुमने स्पेशल देखी है so the idea of this logic is it does not exist. It does not, just like the nipples on the neck of the goat does not exist. Similarly, no result exists in any other path except for bhakti. This is called as a logic. So when you say ajagalas tana nyaya for something, which means it does not exist only. All right. I remember, I was just with this particular response. I remember I was a very young boy, probably maybe first grade, or not even first grade, maybe in junior KG or senior KG, whatever you call it those days. And we had a birthday celebration in our own house on the ground floor. And in birthday celebration, there was a quiz. Who would answer the right question would get the prize. And there was nice candies or something like that. And what was the question? Something was, it was like this kind of nyaya only. I believe, name the four-legged animal that can swim in water. Something like that. Or name the four-legged animal that lives in the water. Something like that. Now there is, I don't know, maybe this was question or something like that, but the point is, there is no four-legged animal which lives in the water. So something like that. And we remember, we all were thinking, oh horse, oh dog, oh cat, and all everything. And the answer was, hey, there is no animal like this. So all of you will remember something like this in your childhood also hearing, as a point here. Okay, text number 94. So that's the verse I was making a point. Atho Jigyasu Arthati. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, 7 chapters, Sukritanaha. And Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, while discussing, because this is a subject matter going out, Dui Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti, and Vaiti Sadhana Raganuga Bhakti, there he makes a point that this four kinds, this is very important, technically to know. A lot of things has been mentioned about this particular verse. Sukirtana Arjuna. So these four four categories of people, they are not yet bhakta. They are pre-bhakta stage. However, they are pious. Therefore, so before, in other words, Kanishtadhikari is a very advanced stage, which you might not hear so much. So be proud and be happy you are Kanishtadhikari. Okay? In relation and context of these four categories of Srutina. All right? But in context of Madhyadhikari, very bad state. So just to technically have an understanding in relation to these four categories of people who Krishna describes in Bhagavad Gita, Kanishtadhikari. Why it is said, I have mentioned this, I have explained this in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, I went in detail into the subject. Now, Kanishta still having a desire, material desire. He is not very clear with the goal. He has some attraction to Krishna. Okay, let me ask this question other way around to all of you. In what situation somebody would be called as Kanishtadhikari? Hare Krishna. Your counter starts now. I'll start chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So who would like to give an answer? In what situation a bhakta is called as Kanishtadhikari? Yes, Pranjal. Yeah, that is a point while making a difference between Kanishta, Madhyama, Uttama. Okay. Now this is more subtle point. But how do you see somebody and say he is Kanishtadhikari? Or he is pre-Kanishtadhikari? That's the point here. So you understand you are very, very advanced. And why you are advanced? I'll make a point again. Any idea? Yes.
तो जितना इम्पोर्टेंस लॉर्ड की डिटेल्स को देता है उतना वैष्णव को रिस्पेक्ट नहीं
जा रहे ना सुकृत नवी. This four category people also going with the Lord, na? When you are in distress, you have an option to go to pub, but you're going to temple. Are you giving attention to Lord or not? Yes or no? Same thing. Totally wrong. What else? What else? Yes. You will not be able to answer that unless you either heard from me, or you have read commentaries. Yes. How Adhikari? That's what I'm asking. That is Adhikari. My question is how Adhikari? Because he is willing to engage in bhajana kriya. Because he is willing to follow at least chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Because he is willing to follow 4x principles. That's the reason he is adhikari for pure bhakti. But because of his weak faith and weak knowledge, he is said to be kanishta. Is that okay? Now, this is not my subject, but just because you should know these fundamental things, I'm explaining you. Now, for this purpose, Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, while describing in the third chapter types of devotees in context of his ongoing theme of discussion, then after describing Uttam Adhikari, then he goes to Chaturvidavas. Why does he go to Chaturvidavas? To help us understand because he has to give a reference. He says then, okay, what's the relationship between what I'm talking here from the 11th canto Srimad Bhagavatam to what Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita? So he says, well, they are not Adhikari yet. And why they're not Adhikari? Because they're not necessarily practicing any limb of pure devotion service. Chanting is a part of pure devotion service. Now, you may randomly chant, is okay, but now if you're following under the direction of a guru, then it is pure. That's the point here. So, congratulations, you just realized you are no more on the lower gradation. You are very, very advanced. Once in a while, we should also be doing good. Otherwise, why Karishna, oh, Prabhu, why Karishna? But okay, it's not so good also, huh? In the ultimate sense. Fine. Hare Krishna. So we were where is going on. Okay, let's move forward. This is clear. Wow, nice verses given. Okay, next. Text number 95. अर्थाथी दुई सकम भीतर गणी जिज्ञासु ज्ञानी दुई मोक्षा कामामणि. My listed devotees take to devotion service and worship Krishna when they're distressed or in need of money. Those who are actually inquisitive who understand the supreme source of everything, and those who are in search of knowledge are called transcendentalists, for the desire liberation from all material contamination. Te chari sukriti haya mahabhagyavan tat tat kamadi chavi haya shuddha bhakti ma. Because they have a pious background, all 4 types of people are to be considered greatly fortunate. Such people gradually give up material desires and become pure devotees. So they have not yet started their bhakti. That's the point. Okay. Sadhu Sangha Kripa Kimva Krishnera Kripaya. Oh, wait a second. Screen sharing is happening? Oh, all right, all right. Because तुम लोग इतना यहाँ पे फेरबदल कर रहे हो ना, so I'm getting distracted. Sadhu Sangha Kripa Kimva Krishnera Kripaya Kamadi Dusanga Chadi Sudha Bhakti Paya. Now this is talking about Bhajana Kriya, which starts because of Sadhu Sangha. One is elevated to the platform devotion service by the mercy of a Vaishnava, the bona fide spiritual master, by the special mercy of Krishna. On that platform, one gives up all material desires and association on one people. Thus, one is elevated to the platform of your devotion service. So, this Sukritina category can move on to the next stage of Adhikari platform if in between they get association of Bhaktas. And in that association, in that Sadhu Sangha, they'll take to the path of pure devotion service. That's what I explained here. All right. Sasanga mukta dusango hato no sahate buddha kirtyanam yasho yasya sakrat akaranya rochanam. Intelligent who understood the Supreme Lord association of pure devotees and have become free from bad materialistic association can never avoid hearing the glories of the Lord, even though they have heard them only once. Okay. We'll see this thing quite often. What does it mean by pure devotees? Who is pure devotee when it's been mentioned like this? Satsangan, this is Satsanga means holy association. Sat Sangan. This is what Prabhupada is translating here. Pure devotee. What is the meaning of pure devotee? Yes.
Who is following the instructions of the spiritual master?
Those who are following the instructions of spiritual master. Fine. Yes. Who is falling under pure devotee? Yes.
Who is always engaged in the then Kriya.
Resolving against bhajan kriya. Anything else?
God is all living.
Do you know anyone who knows and sees?
पूरे सामने लोग परमात्मा दिखते हैं लोग।
हाँ, तो आप किसी ऐसे शुद्ध भक्त को जानते हैं? मतलब है ही नहीं है शुद्ध भक्त दुनिया में तो फिर। No, so what Ashok is saying is correct. So philosophically, it is mentioned like that. What did Prabhupada explained? Just my humble request, don't quote things without having connection with Prabhupada's commentary. We need to understand from Prabhupada's perspective and how Prabhupada have taught us, not that we quote like this. What Prabhupada said. Prabhupada very clearly mentions about it that somebody, as some of you said, who is strictly following his prescribed rules and regulation and serving under the direction of an advanced devotee or a pure devotee is to be considered pure. And that situation of time, he very categorically mentioned, at that point of time, which means you could be in a pure situation today, but may not be necessary tomorrow. Who? Kanishtadhikari. Therefore, there is a gradations of Kanishtadhikari also explained as Kanishta, Kanishta, Kanishta Madhyama, Kanishta Uttama. So Kanishta Uttama refers to that pure devotee who is following strictly. But right now, but because he's Kanishta, he's going to go ups and downs. So there's no guarantee tomorrow he would be. That's what the meaning of it. Fine? Like that. So in other words, somebody is situated properly, and then if he's sharing Krishna consciousness, then we should hear in that context of time. That's the point here. Okay. So where were we? हम ये बात कर रहे थे प्योर डिवोटीज की बात है. Prabhupada talks about pure devotees here, always attached. To make a not habit, one must be pure devotee following the devotional process like this. I can read out this is a very nice point. To make a show of devotional service will not help one. Let's highlight. One must be a pure devotee following the devotional process, then one can convert others to devotional service. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu practiced devotional service and preached, Apani Achari Bhakti Karila Pachar. If a preacher behaves properly in devotional service, he will be able to convert others. Otherwise, his preaching will have no effect. So convert may not be seen in a very good sense today, but what Prabhupada means is he will be able to transform others like that. Okay. Dusanga kaiye kaitava atma vanchana Krishna Krishna bhakti venu anaya kamana. So cheating oneself, cheating others is called kaitava dharma. Where does it come, kaitava dharma? Yes, where? First canto, first chapter, second was dharma projita kaitava. That's the thing. Cheating dharma. Associating with those who cheat in this way is called dusanga, bad association. Those who desire things other than Krishna service are also called dusanga. So now what is bad association? That is being described here, bad association. Okay, now here comes the verse. All right, that's what we were just talking about. We know this meaning, so I'm just skipping through, otherwise it would be too long. Fine. Text number 101. Parashabde mokshavancha kaitava pradhan. Aishloke Shridhara Swami Kariya Chena Vyakhya. The prefix para in the word projitaha especially refers to those desiring liberation or oneness. Such a desire should be understood to be the foremost cheating propensity. The great commentator Sridhar Swami has explained this verse in that way. So the point why moksha or this desire to, not moksha as such, particularly the desire to become one with the Lord, considered to be the greatest cheating propensity. Prabhupada said in one place, it is the last snare of Maya, the last trick of Maya, where it tells you, oh, you can be God, like this. So this is cheating. Sakama bhakti agyan jani dyalu bhagavan swacharana diya kare ichhara pidhan. When merciful Lord Krishna understands that a foolish devotee desires material prosperity, he gratefully gives the shelter of lotus feet. In this way, Lord covers the devotee's undesirable ambitions. ये श्रीमद् भागवतम का हो गया. सत्यम दिशति अत्यतम अर्थितो नरणाम नैवातो दो यत् पुनः अर्थिता यतः स्वयं विदत्ते भजता अनिच्छता इच्छा पिधाना निज पाद पल्लवम. Whenever Krishna is requested to fulfill one's desire, he undoubtedly do so, but he does not avoid anything which after being enjoyed will cause one to petition him again and again to fulfill further desires. When one has other desires but engages in Lord service, Krishna forcefully gives one shelter at his lotus feet, where one will forget all other desires. Wow, very nice. Sadhu Sangha Krishna Kripa Bhakti Rasva Bhava Itine Sabha Chadaya Kare Krishna Bhava. Association with the devotee, the mercy of Krishna, the nature of devotional service help one to give up all undesirable association. Gradually attain elevation to the platform of love of Godhead. So, क्या बताया गया? भक्ता, भक्ति एंड भगवान. साधु संग भक्त, कृष्ण कृपा भगवान, भक्ति रस स्वभाव, भक्ति. These three helps us overcome the क्या कहते हैं आपका bad association. Text number 105. अज्ञेयत यत अर्थ व्याख्यान करीबा कृष्ण गुणा स्वादेर इहि हेतु जानिबा. I will explain further what. I said progressively explain all the words in the Atmanam verse. It should be understood that all these words are meant to enable one to taste the transcendental qualities of Krishna. Shloka व्याख्या लगी करिल नभा एव करे श्लोकेरा मूलार्थ प्रकाश. I have given all these explanations just to give some indication of the verse meaning. Now let me explain the real meaning of the verse. Hare Krishna. So class begins now, according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. ज्ञान मार्गे उपासक द्वित प्रकार केवल ब्रह्मोपास मोक्षाकांक्षिया. There are two kinds of worshippers on the path of philosophical speculation. One is called Brahma Upasaka, or the worshipper of impersonal Brahman. Another is called Moksha Akankshaki, one who desires liberation. So one is a worshipper of impersonal Brahman, another is a desire for liberation. केवल केवल ब्रह्मोपास तीन भेद है साधका ब्रह्ममय आरा प्राप्त ब्रह्मलय. Three types of people who worship impersonal Brahman. Beginner, second who sought absorbed in Brahman, and third one is actually merged in the impersonal Brahman. Three categories. Bhakti vina keval jnane mukti nahi hai. Bhakti sadhana kare ye prapta brahmalaya. One cannot attain liberation simply through philosophical speculation, which is absent of devotional service. However, one enters devotional service is automatically on the Brahman platform. Bhaktira svabhava brahma haite kare akarshana divya deha dhiya karaya krishnera bhajana. Bhakti Rasavava. So, what is the nature of bhakti? Brahma hite kare akarshan. So, this whole, the things of the gifts which are given at other stages are automatically attracted. Characteristically, one in devotional is attracted away from the impersonal Brahman platform. He is offered a transcendental body. Okay, actually, it's a different meaning. It's offered a transcendental body to engage in Lord Krishna's service. Those who engage in bhakti, they are not attracted towards Brahman. Divya Dhiya Karai Krishna Bhajan. They get transcendental body by which they can serve Krishna. Bhakta Deha Pailehaya Gune Rasmarana Guna Krishna Haina Kare Nirmala Bhajan. When one gets a devotee special body, he can remember the transcendental qualities of Krishna. Simply by being attracted to Krishna's transcendental qualities, one becomes a pure devotee engaged in his service. Gauranga. Should I read the purpose? Okay, that is homework. Okay. Muktapi lilaya vigraham kritva bhagavantam bhajante. Liberated soul also merged into impersonal Brahman effulgence, attracted to the pastimes of Krishna. He thus installs the deity and renders the Lord service. Ultimately, Atmanama verse is about this only, right? Even those who are, impersonalists, they're also attracted towards the Lord. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining that. Highly elevated Mayavadi sannyasis sometimes worship Radha Krishna deity and discuss the pastimes, but their purpose is not elevation to Goloka. They want to merge into the Lord's effulgence. This statement is quoted from Shankaracharya's commentary on the Upanishad known as Narasimha Tapani. His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was once invited to Shivananda's ashram at Bahamas, set of islands between North America and South America. So I also went. Maharaj called some of us there. So I also went. I was in America that time. We were 12 of us with Maharaj there. And Maharaj was asked, there was a week long program every morning, every evening, 2 hours. And this was my probably first time such a close interaction with the ashramites of Shivananda Ashram, where there were sannyasis, sannyasinis, brahmachari, brahmacharinis, and then you had many yoga enthusiasts from all over the world. It was one of the most beautiful place, if you want to talk about it. It was an island surrounded by water. It was not actually Bahamas. So you have to land to Bahamas, and from there you have to go to this island, which was named according to its beauty. You know what was the name of this island? Paradise Island. And at this Paradise Island, it was so majestic, crystal clear blue water. You know, absolutely optimum for everything, any kind of sense pleasure in that way. And there was this from one end of the island to the other end of the island. There's this Shivananda's yoga retreat center or whatever. And on the left hand side was Tom Cruise, क्या कहते हैं आपका, his bungalow, you want to call it, or his what? So there were certain few celebrities who had their houses there, and on the both the sides. And then at the far end of this, which is a small island, there was 7-star, almost how much, 70, 80 story or whatever story, luxurious hotel like that. So, anyways, why did I go into all this detail? Anyways, the point I was making was this was not the place for bhaktas to spend time. But Maharaj went there, and Maharaj told some of us also to come, so we went there. There were only 12 of us. I was the only bachelor because I was joining ashram, so that's the reason Maharaj called at least for that little association, and then all our congregation. The point I will remember the story, as Shankaracharya's commentary was quoted here, even the advanced Mayavadis among themselves, they discuss Radha Krishna's pastime and they worship Radha Krishna. So His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was particularly asked by the sannyasi there to speak on Chaitanya Lila. We had morning, evening, 2 hours of Chaitanya Lila. And I can tell you, I've heard several Chaitanya Lila of Maharaj, but I've never heard that Chaitanya Lila. I just wish it was recorded. None of us just thought of recording it. It was a majestic lectures, and the lectures that bowled all the Mayavadis there, they were just glued to their seats. And Maharaj was not largely speaking to those sannyasis because anyways they're not hard not. They're not gonna get transformed. But Maharaj through that platform was speaking to all the yogis and yoginis who had come. It was amazing, amazing presentation. So yes, even they have attraction. That's the point of mention here. They want to discuss. But what's their end goal? Yet they want to merge into Radha Krishna or the Lord like that. Their goal is not Goloka Vrindavan. So after no, not every morning. I believe every evening after class will end up, Maharaj will do kirtan there. Yogis, they will sit also like this, straight back. हम लोग टेढ़े मेढ़े जाते थे 1-1.5 घंटे के बाद. They will sit like straight back. All boys, girls, there will be almost 100-150 odd audience there. All girls, boys, straight back. They will sit like this. Remember, first evening Maharaj kirtan. So we were the dancing elephants for Maharaj because he needed some audience to teach them, na. So Maharaj is sitting like this. Imagine all of you are sitting like the audience Mayavadis. There are those kind of sitting place. And Maharaj had particularly told us to sit in the corner. When, he didn't want us to mingle with them. And plus, he didn't want all of us to be there. So they have their own space because they may have their own way of looking at things. So Maharaj, although speak to them and they were in their own world, so Maharaj will keep on looking at us. I remember Maharaj will start a kirtana. He'll each time turn at us, chalo, khade ho jao, and dance. First day, only some of us were dancing. None of those yoginis even moved their head. Forget about the body. They're like, Krishna, Krishna. I'll tell you, by the end of the 7th day, forget the 7th day, 3rd day itself, everyone was there on their feet. So much so, sannyasi could tolerate, but sannyasi Nina, she could not tolerate. The moment Maharaj start kirtan, she would get so disturbed. She would each time, from the third evening, not third evening, in fact, about the first evening only. At the time of Kirtan, she'll hardly stay for 2 minutes, she'll walk away. And Maharaj made sure. So, first day he had it, and second and third afternoon, he only called all the yogi and yoginis. And on the pretext of talking to them, he had more than 1.5 hours Kirtan. And the idea was Maharaj strategy was very clear. I would speak for 10 minutes and then we'll start our क्या नाम है ये भी थे अपना क्या नाम है our New York gang, our Gaurvani Prabhu, our on the madanga on the drum, and the sister, his sister, very famous Jai Radhe, that song which is going on, huh? Jai Radha song which has gone viral all over.
अच्युत गोपी माता जी.
Mataji, Achyuta Gopi Mataji and her elder brother, who is expert in Madanga, you know. So Gaurvani Prabhu, his family, Achyuta Gopi Mataji, his sister, and the Prabhu, somehow missing the name, sorry for that. It's been a long time. So they and some of us. Imagine you're having, that devotee, the elder brother Achyuta Gopi Mataji, expert Mridanga player. You have him, then you have Gaurvani Prabhu on the follow of singing, Mother Achyuta Gopi, and then some of their types of, on the follow singing. Maharaj will lead. They would be along with Maharaj on the, leading this thing. And we were dancing elephants. We had to dance. And third afternoon, when Maharaj did the Kirtan again, and it was an icebreaker. And this crowd went, you remember we went to Chitrakoot? How many went to Chitrakoot? We had a yatra. We were saying Ramanandi's ashram, you would have noted, at least you have a little experience of it. So when we would do Kirtan, all these Ramanandi brahmacharis and gurukulis would look from the windows. They will not come out. And after a few days, they also started dancing. Similarly, first 1 or 2 days, they didn't do anything. And the third day, this yogi, there were no brahmacharis and sannyasis, Huh? There's a separate program for them. They wanted them to be away. I remember third afternoon when the Kirtan happened, after 5 minutes, all hell loose break. All these yogis and yoginis went back into their old style. And they started the wild dance. I came back and said in front of Maharaj, I said, I am not dancing. The girls have gone wild. This is like pakka hippie dance. They all their tapasya, what they were doing for all this while, they said, hell with it. They were chaos. They were just, you have seen those videos from 60s, 70s, Prabhupada's videos, the head banging and whatnot. Can you imagine head banging in Kirtan? Very difficult to control at that time. Anyways, coming to the point. So even they discuss, they may worship, but their goal is not actually to serve. Their goal is only to merge. That's the point mentioned here. Janma haite sukha sanakadi brahma maya Krishna guna Krishna haina Krishnera bhajaya. Authors say Goswami Kumar always observed the thought of impersonal Brahman, and with us Brahmavadis, they were nonetheless attracted by the transcendent past and spirit as Krishna. Therefore, they later became devotee Krishna. That's the whole essence of Atmarama's verse. Sankadhyara Krishna Kripaya Saurabha Hare Mana Guna Krishna Haina Kare Nirmala Bhajana. Sanka Adi. The mind of four Kumars were attracted by the aroma of the flowers offered to Krishna's lotus feet. I'm pretty sure next verse will be Tulsi Aravinda Shloka on this subject matter. And here comes Tasya Aravinda Nayanasya Padaravinda Kinjal Kamishya Tulasi Makaranda Vayu Antargata Savivera Chakaratesha Sankshobam Aksharajasham Apichittatanvo. Akshara, impersonal realization, went out of the window. The moment they smelled the fragrance of Tulsi kept on the lotus feet of the Lord, and that's like this, Fokumas became Bhaktas. Vyasa Kripaya Sukha Devera Lila Dismarana Krishna Guna Krishna Haina Karena Bhajana. By the mercy of Srila Vyasadeva, Sukdev Goswami. Now, example of Sukdev Goswami, Vyasa Kripaya, by the mercy of Vyasadeva, Sukdev Goswami got attracted to Leela Smaran. All know the story of how Vyasadeva's disciples went out in the forest such as Sukdev Goswami, and they recited some famous verses from 10th canto Srimad Bhagavatam. And that's how Sukdev Goswami, who originally was Brahmavadi, came back. This is one of the verses. Hare Gunakship, Hare Gunakshipta Mate. That's not the, meter. हरे गुणाक्षिप्तमते भगवान् बादरायणिः अद्यगान् महत् आख्यानां नित्यं विष्णु जनप्रियः. Being very much attracted, this is already actually being explained about this in Srimad Bhagavatam, this is not the verse. Being very much attracted by the transcendent passion of the Lord, the mind of Srila Sukadeva Goswami was agitated by Krishna consciousness. Navayogeshwara Janma Haite Sadhaka Jnani Vidhi Shiva Narada Mukhe Krishna Guna Suni. From their very birth, the nine great mystic yogis. So now Chaitanya Baba is giving different examples. Yogendras were also impersonal philosophers, but because they had from Lord Krishna. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto. We'll see that. Lord Shiva and the great sage Narada, they became Krishna's devotees. गुणाकृष्ट है न करे कृष्णेरा भजन एकादश स्कंदे तांड्रा भक्ति विवरण. 11th canto, there's a full description of this subject matter. This is the shloka. The nine Yogendras entered Lord Brahma's association, heard from him the real meaning of topmost Vedic literature, Upanishads. All the Yogendras were already conversant in Vedic knowledge. They became very jubilant in Krishna consciousness just by listening to Brahma. Thus, they wanted to enter in the Dwarka, abode of Krishna. In this way, they finally achieved the place known as Rangashetra. Quotation from Maha Upanishad. वाह क्या बात है. हाँ, उपनिषद में दे रखा है ये. इंटरेस्टिंग. मोक्ष आकांक्षी ज्ञानी हय तीन प्रकारा मुमुक्षु जीवन मुक्ता प्राप्त स्वरूपारा. So जो मोक्ष की इच्छा रखते हैं वो तीन प्रकार के होते हैं. This subject matter is discussed in second canto, first chapter, second chapter, third chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. Mumukshu, Jivan Mukta, Prapta Sarupa. This is also mentioned in the sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita from verses 9 onwards, where Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga has been established. Mumukshu and Jivan Mukta, the two stages were mentioned there, like this. Desiring to be liberated, already liberated, those who have realized Brahman, like that. Mumukshu jagate anek samsari jana mukti lagi bhaktya kare Krishna rava jana. There are many people within the material world who desire liberation, and for this purpose they render devotional service to Krishna. ये आया है श्रीमद् भागवत फर्स्ट कैंटो. मुमुक्षवो घोर रूपान हित्वा भूता पतिन्नथा नारायण कला शांता भजन्ति ही अनुसूय विहे. Those who want to be relieved from their material clutches give up the worship of the various demigods who have fearful body features. Those who want to be relieved from the material clutches give the worship of various devatas who have fearful bodily features. Such peaceful devotees who are not envious of the devatas worship the different forms of Supreme Personality Godhead, Narayana. Which are fearful? Goddess Kali and Kal Bhairava. Sei Savera Sadhu Sange Guna Spuhuraya Krishna Bhajan Karaya Mumuksha Chadaya. If those who are attached to demigod worship fortunately associate with the devotees, the dominant Krishna consciousness awakens. As we know that. So 4 Kumaras, Sukadeva Goswamis, 9 Yogendras, these are some of the examples. And this is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam. Oh, great learned devotees, although there are many faults in this material world, there's one good opportunity, association with devotees. Aho Mahatman Bahudosha Dushto Api Ekena Bhatiyesh Bhavo Gunena Satsangamakhena Sukhavahena Krita Dayano Yena Krisha Mumuksha. Such association brings about great happiness. Due to this good quality, our strong desire to achieve liberation by merging into the Brahman effulgence has been weakened. From Hari Bhakti Sudodaya. Narade Rasange Shonakadi Muni Gana Mumuksha Chadiya Kaila Krishnera Bhajana. तो नारद मन के संग के कारण तो क्या हुआ? By associating great saint Narada, Shanak and the great sages gave the desire for liberation. Krishnera darshane karo Krishnera kripaya mumuksha chadiya gune bhajitan rapaya. Simply by meeting Krishna, receiving Krishna's special favor, one can give up the desire for liberation. So idea is Krishna is so attractive, even those who are Atmaram, they even get attracted towards the transcendent qualities of the Lord. अस्मिन् सुखाघनामूर्तौ परमात्मनि वृष्णिपतने स्फुरति आत्मा रामामतया मे वृथा गतो बता चिरं कालः. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami says, in this Dwarka Dham, I am being attracted by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Simply by seeing him, I am feeling great happiness. Oh, I wasted so much time trying to become self-realized through impersonal cultivation. जीवन मुक्ताने का से दुई भेदा जानी भक्त्या जीवन मुक्ता ज्ञाने जीवन मुक्ता मानी. There are many people who are liberated even in this lifetime. Some are liberated by discharging devotional service, others are liberated through philosophical speculative process. So let's have some engagement. Some of you, if you wish, you can read the translation and I'll read the verses. So some of you will become active then, okay? So those who want to read it, no, you have to speak on the mic so people can hear online also. You got to sign into Zoom. Bhaktya Jivan Mukta Guna Krishna Hana Krishna Bhaje Sushka Jnane Jivan Mukta Aparadhe Adhomaje. Who is reading? Those who are liberated by devotion service become more and more attracted by the transcendental qualities of Krishna. Thus they engage in his service. Those who are liberated by the speculative process eventually fall down again due to offensive activity. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Yanyardaksha vimuktamaninas toyastabhavad vishuddha buddhyaha aruya krishnena param padam tataha patanti yado anadrit yusmat angrayaha. O lotus-eyed one, those who think they are liberated in this life but are without devotional service to you are of impure intelligence. They accept severe austerities, penances, rise to the spiritual position to impersonal Brahman. They fall again because they neglect to worship your lotus feet. Brahma bhuta prasanatma na sochati na kankshati samha sarveshu bhuteshu madbhaktim labhate param. All of you are very familiar from this famous verse of Bhagavad Gita. Advaitaviti pratikir upasyaha Swananda Simhasana Labda Dikshaha Shatena Kenapi Vayam Hatena Dasi Kritagopa Vadhu Vitena. Padiye.
Although I was worshipped by those on the path of monism and initiated into self-realization through the yoga system, I have nonetheless been forcibly turned into a maid servant by some cunning boy who is always joking with the gopis.
Oh, this is Bilva Mangla Thakur. Although I was worshipped by those initiated into this, been forcefully, he is sarcastically saying that. Bhakti Vale Prapta Sarupa Divya Deha Paya Krishna Guna Krishna Haina Bhaje Krishna Paya. Krishna Guna Krishna. You know, we transcend, one get attracted to the transcendent qualities of Krishna. So what happens? Go ahead.
One who has attained his constitutional position by the strength of devotional service attains a transcendental body even in this lifetime. Being attracted by Lord Krishna's transcendental qualities, he fully engages in service at his lotus feet.
We can read two verses, we can pass on the mic so everyone can read. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam. The living entity of the potencies merge into Mahavishnu. Liberation means being situated in one's eternal original form after giving up the changeable gross and subtle body. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whatever he's speaking, is quoting Shastras to explain that. Krishna bhayar mukha doshe maya hite bhaya. Krishna mukha bhakti haite maya mukta haya.
One again becomes conditioned and fearful due to the influence of Maya. By executing devotional service faithfully, one is liberated from Maya.
So this is famous verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto. Bhayam dvityabhini visheshatataha syat ishad apritasya viparayayo smritihi tanmayayato buddha abhejattam bhaktyaikkayasham gurudevatma.
When the living entity is attracted by the material energy that is separated from Krishna, he is overpowered by fear. Because he is separated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the material energy, his conception of life is reversed. In other words, instead of being the eternal servant of Krishna, he becomes Krishna's competitor. This is called Viprayaha Asamrita. The Asamriti. The nullify this mistake to nullify this mistake, who is actually learned and advanced
So yeah,
worship.
so otherwise those who are attracted in Maya, he is fearful. Those who take shelter of the Lord, he is fearless. This is famous verse 7.14. So we are going Devi Ishmana Gunamai. Okay, those who take shelter, they are protected. Bhakti vinu mukti nahi, bhakti hai mukti hai. Go ahead. One does not attain liberation without rendering devotional. Liberation is attained only by devotional service. Again, another quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam, which is mentioned: My dear Lord, devotional service unto you is the only auspicious path. If one gives it up simply for speculative knowledge or the understanding of these living beings as spirit souls, and the material world is false, he undergoes a great deal of trouble. He only gains troublesome and inauspicious activities. His actions are like beating a husk that is already void of rice. His labor becomes fruitless. Arvindaksha vimuktamaninas toyasthabhavad vishuddha buddhayah आरुह्य कृच्छ्रेण परम पदम ततः पतन्त्यदो नादृत युष्मद् अंग्रयः.
O lotus-eyed one, those who think they are liberated in this life but are without devotional service to you are of impure intelligence. Although they accept severe austerities and penance and rise to the spiritual platform position to impersonal Brahman realization, they fall down again because they neglect to worship your lotus feet.
यायिषां पुरुषं साक्षात् आत्मा प्रभवमीश्वरं न भजन्ति विजानन्ति स्थानाभ्रष्टपतन्त्यदः.
If one simply maintains an official position in the four varnas and ashramas, but does not worship the Supreme Lord Vishnu, he falls down from his puffed up position into a hellish condition.
Read up to 150 verse and pause for today. Bhaktya mukti paleha avashya krishnera bhajaya.
When one is actually liberated by executing devotional service, he always engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord.
Muktapi lilaya vigraham kritva bhagavantam bhajante.
Even a liberated soul merged in the impersonal Brahman effulgence is attracted to the pastimes of Krishna. He thus install a deity and renders the Lord's service.
Ichayatma Rama Krishnera bhajaya pratak pratak chakare iya apirathakaya.
These six kinds of Atmarams engage in the loving service of Krishna. The varieties of service are indicated by adding cha, and they also bear the meaning of api indeed.
Go ahead.
The six purport. Okay. There are six kinds of Atmarams: the neophyte student, sadhaka, one who is absorbed in Brahman realization, Brahma Maya, one who has already attained the Brahman position, Prapta Brahmalaya, one who desires to be liberated, Mumukshu, one who is liberated even in this life, Jivan Mukta, and one who is self-realized, Prapta Swarupa.
So neophyte student, from here it begins sadhaka. There are six kind of Atmarama. So they're considered to be Atmaram. They're not yet, but because they have taken to the process, like Kanishta Adhikari. That's the point. Alright, we have some hand up online. We'll have Mother Yagya. You can read out. Your hand is up. Atmaramascha api kare Krishna hituki bhakti munaya santaha iti Krishna mananaya sakti. Please enable the speaker so I can hear Abhishek.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Translation: the six kinds of Atmarams.
Hare Krishna. Huh?
Hare Krishna. Am I audible, Prabhuji?
Little volume. Yes, Mother Yagya, go ahead.
The six kinds of Atmarams render devotional service to Krishna without ulterior motives. The words Punaya and Santa indicate those who are very much attached to meditating upon Krishna.
Prabhu, your sound is not fixed. Just check it. ये पर चेक करो, होगा, थोड़ा पड़ेगा. निर्ग्रंथा विद्याहीना केहा विधिहीना यान ये युक्ता से अर्थेरा अधीना. Go ahead, Mother.
The word Nirgrantha means without ignorance and devoid of rules and regulations. whichever meaning fits may be applied.
All right. शब्द करी यदि इतर तेरा अर्थ आरा एका अर्थ कह परम समर्थ.
Translation: the use of the word cha in different places produces different meanings. Over and above them, there is another meaning that is very important.
आत्मरामश्चात्मरामश्च करी बार छाया पंच आत्माराम चय चकारे लुप्ताया.
Translation: although the words Atmaramascha would be repeated 6 times, simply by adding the word cha, 5 Atmaramas are deleted.
एक आत्मा राम शब्द अवशेष रहे एक आत्मा राम शब्द छह जना कहे.
Translation: therefore, there is no need to repeat the word Atmaram. One is sufficient, and that one word indicates 6 persons.
Okay, so what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining, there are 6 types of Atmaramas. But by using Atmaramas Cha Munyo, by using the word Cha, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explaining, it means also or and. It covers all the 6 varieties of Atmaramas. Like that. So, around 289 verses, it was required to explain one verse. Now you're understanding what was the use of cha. You know, like that. So, all right, we'll pause here up to 150th verse. It'll be easy for us to remember next time. We'll continue for 150th verse. So, I guess in the third session, next week, we'll be able to complete this discussion of Atmanama's verse because we're doing 70 verses in that way. Hare Krishna. So I'll pause here. Thank you all for joining in. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki.